Regardless of their popularity, I know comic book movies aren't for everyone, but I'm fairly certain most people have a favorite superhero. Or in the case of nerds like myself, you have multiple. As a lifelong fan of horror, I've always been intrigued by the heroes who almost feel burdened by their talents to remove a certain group or entity of bad guys. I'm looking at you, Ash Williams and Buffy Summers. But towards the top of that list of my favorite superheroes, there's a man dressed in all black in a trench coat duster, with modern weaponry that would make Iron Man blush. A man whose sole purpose on this earth is to rid it from vampires. Folks, today's movie is none other than the 1998 action horror comic classic, Blade. Blade not only saved the Marvel movie franchise from the dumpster, but it gave vampires a new look, a revamp if you will. This is another one of those flicks I don't think we deserved, and we should all be thankful that we got it when we did. From the beginning of sloppy horror, I've known this would be a movie that we would put on the chopping block at some point. So without any further introduction, here is our take on Blade. Boom! Welcome to the Sloppy Horror Podcast. I am your host and your scary movie companion, Christian Ramey, and back again for another week, clapping them cheeks. Is that Blade? No, that's Ozark Mark. He's down there. What's going on, dog?
1, 2, 3 in the place to be. Welcome everybody to the Sloppy Horror Podcast. Once again, back up in your ass. We are into Wildcard season once again. If you are unfamiliar with... What is that noise?
It sounded like the beginning of that Chernobyl song.
It is.
What it is, Hope? I'm sorry, I didn't realize.
Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pretty sure that's what they use for that sound effect. So, we are here to talk about a fantastic movie. What are we talking about today, Mr. Christian Ramey?
We are talking about a great action movie. Wait, a comic book movie? Wait, a horror comic book movie? A Marvel movie at that.
It's a horror comic book action horror movie. Yeah.
We're talking about the 1998 Marvel film, Blade, starring Wesley Snipes.
The blackest man on the planet.
Yes. He is very dark, but... I'm very pale. You know, he could make that observation about me.
Yes.
So, look, this is more water.
What is this, dude?
There's more water in there.
What do you want me to... Am I pouring this into my thing?
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying you can have it that way or whatever. It's just yours. Yeah, there you go.
Why'd you give it... Okay. You want this glass back?
No, you can keep it down there.
Okay. You're getting sidetracked, man. Let's, continue, please.
Well, anyways, yeah, after I
can't
left...
take the fact that you dressed up like Frost.
Hey, Blade. Look, I just thought it'd be a funny idea, and now that we're actually down here, because it's subtle, you know, it's very subtle, but it works, you know, and at the end, I think Mark might kill me. We might full send this, all right? Might work that way. First off, Ozark Mark, I've known for a long time, a long goddamn time, we were going to cover Blade. But, it was just hard to find the right time to do it because a lot of our seasons have been themed, right? We've had different themes. But this is the Wildcard season, so it felt appropriate. We were like, hey, this is on the cusp. This is on the cusp. But I'm not going to lie to you. Can we get a count on how many people / vampires Blade killed throughout this movie? Probably over 100.
I think it's quite a lot. I will look it up.
There is a lot of people.
Well, take a guess.
I'm just going to go Price is Right it, and I'm going to say 99. Okay.
Okay. All right. Keep talking. I will look it up.
Yeah. So I'm going to say 99 because. Even in that club scene, I feel like he was at 25, 30, and that's 10 minutes into the movie.
Dude, somebody made a list of it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God.
That's a lot of work.
There's no total, though. Oh, my God. Okay, hold on.
Well, we need to teetotal on this, young man.
Okay, keep talking. I'm gonna have to count this.
Okay, go ahead, Ozark Mark. You can get the count going on, or even if you give me just like an approximate, that's not a big deal. But, folks, I really think most everybody has seen Blade. And I know our friend Joe, he's been a long-time listener of the show. He's requested Blade for a long time, so I know he's going to be happy about this. And honestly, I personally love this movie too. Without saying, I'm not trying to repeat myself too much like I did. I did this in the intro, so I'm not trying to go over this too much. But I want your words on this, Ozark Mark, before the synopsis, or at least just an agreement we can go in later. Blade changed the look of vampires, okay? Later we'll go into Gangrel and the Brood and Christian and Edge. But, if you think of, Interview with the Vampire, and vampires were very, Victorian and elegant, and they had Blade had a 90s vampire, a different look. I mean, Buffy the Vampire Slayer did too, because I love that show and I'll give it props. But Blade had this... All vampires look like they belong to a cool scene. Even the Lost Boys, they look like they belong to an 80s rock band. All of them got their own looks, but this was a 90s rave, club, underground scene that was definitely its own thing. But you saw mimicked after it with vampires. That was a look for vampires after this. And you're like, oh, okay, they had the shades on. I dug it. I fucking dug it.
There were 42 deaths, by the way, of vampires.
There has to be more.
That's what the list said. I think there's more, too. But I'm telling you, it's only 42. But, yeah.
I don't feel good about that.
I feel like this is this is a fantastic movie. I can see, TV action movies that your dads always sat there and watched.
Like the Rambos?
Yeah. I feel like this is our generation's Rambo. I feel like we're going to be in our 50s and 60s in the recliner watching Blade.
All right, so look, I got a kill count here.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
What's the total?
500 unarmed partygoers turned into vampires after ingesting blood. All right, it does have a total down here at the bottom. So kill count. Blade has 72, Whistler has 11, Deacon has 2, Karen Jensen has 1, and Mercury has 1.
Okay, so 72 plus 11 is 83, plus 4, right?
Yes.
So that's 87, plus 2, 89. So close to 100, so you're close to 99. I mean, if this was The Price is Right, you'd be fucked.
I know, man. I'm a little upset, but whatever. It is what it is. There's a lot of deaths, though. That's a lot more than your average film.
Yes, and a lot of different styles of death, too. A lot of ways to kill them.
Should I give a synopsis?
You're supposed to.
Well, let's get into that synopsis, folks. First off, I hope everyone is having a happy holidays, all right? Because if not, you should go out and you should just take your rage out on another person who's having a good time, all right? You see somebody holly jolly, punch them in their fucking mouth. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that at all. I hope everybody's having a good time. But before we get into the synopsis, did you guys know that we don't water our show down with a bunch of advertisements? But you know what we do? We have a Patreon where we got bonus episodes. We talk about fun stuff, spicy stuff. I cried last episode. All right, you can hear all of this stuff for as cheap as a cup of coffee every month. Patreon.com/sloppyhorror. Go check it out. I think Ozark, I don't know how much Skinny showed last episode. Whatever. Not a big deal.
It's only audio.
Well, I guess that's true. I saw it, but I described it pretty well.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, that's there. So now, let's get back into Blade. It's really, I'd be surprised if a motherfucker hadn't seen Blade. But I am going to go ahead and start by saying, have no gripes over this film and say, hey, this is a little hokey. No, bitch. Blade is a comic book character. So this whole movie is written like the action is comic book-like, the one-liners, it's like a comic book. So go in expecting that, all right? So now that we've got that out the way, Blade was born to a mother. The movie starts out with a mom being rushed into ER, but she's been bitten in the neck by a vampire, but delivering the baby. So obviously she's turning, baby's born. That's Blade. Blade is a half vampire.
He's a Daywalker.
What they call a Daywalker. The man can walk in day, but he didn't like vampires. Throughout his life, he's developed a system, and he's got a little buddy named the Whistler. That's his little sidekick. It's an old man. And they've developed a serum, as they call it, to keep Blade alive and to keep him able to walk in the daylight and keep him from being a fucking full vampire in half in the feet. But he has to take these pretty serious serums all the time. Not good. Well, anyways, he goes around killing vampires, doing his thing, but there's an underground group of vampires that are getting kind of strong. They're run by this guy named Deacon Frost, played by Steven Dorff. Total badass in this movie, right? Getting this shit together, but what he's doing is he's reading ancient vampire text, and he's trying to invoke the blood god, bring him back to life, and he needs Blade. He wants Blade's blood, because his blood can bring this thing back to life, right? But he tries to get Blade to join him. Blade denies. Fight ensues. Blade's like, fuck this dog. You know, just a lot of badass stuff. Blade killing vampires. A lot of them. All the time.
It's action-packed for your ass.
Action-packed! And I really like it. I really am a fan of Blade. And there's this guy. I don't know. I think his name is Donald Loge. Okay? Or Logue. I don't know how you say it. But that was Quinn. That vampire. I like him a lot.
Yes, he was a good vampire.
He was in that show... Almost Grounded or something, or fucking, what the fuck was that show? It was a Grounded for Life. Grounded for Life. That was the show. All right, it was on TV. He had a redheaded daughter, okay, and a son, and he yelled at him.
Yes.
Okay, so that's pretty much what you need to know about the synopsis. All right.
I am now informed. Thank you.
Let's run up that hill.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So,
hit me with it.
What's your favorite part about this movie?
My favorite part about the movie or my favorite part of the movie?
Favorite part of the movie.
Favorite part of the movie?
Favorite scene.
It's when Mr. Frost is sitting there in a park and he has his first interaction with Blade.
What a cool scene, dude.
Very cool scene. He has a little child.
Child.
As a hostage, so Blade...
A small Asian child.
Yes.
Don't leave that out.
Small Asian child with him. And they have their interaction, and they basically tell each other to fuck off, right? So to get away, Frost throws this child through like a concession stand or something. This child should not be alive, dude. I'm sorry. I forgot about that part. Like, I forgot that he throws her like a good like 20 yards through a concession stand. She ends up on a street, almost gets hit by a bus. And of course, Blade save her or whatever. But just seeing a child go through a concession stand.
So
you can't tell me you cannot laugh at that part.
I laughed like that too when Blade threw Dr. Karen. He threw her off the roof, like right there.
Oh yes, dude. Yes.
So Blade saves this lady. I mean, he's always in the business to save people, but he kind of like really Captain Saved the Ho with this one because I think honestly it reminded him of his mother. She got bit, and he didn't want her to die. So he saved her. But, like, the cops come up, and they're, like, trying to... They think Blade's a bad guy. So they come to this window, and he just tosses her all the way to this other fucking building. And she just lands on this tarp, and
he's just the bounce and everything.
You're like, oh, all right. Look, one of my favorite parts, though, is the hokier parts. I love his one-liners. Blade's a badass. He's always smiling, and then he laughs at the cops. He laughs. I mean... Because he's a true vigilante. He knows, like, they don't understand. Like,
or when they just shoot him, like, 5 times in his vest, he's like, are you out your motherfucking mind?
Yeah, man. I don't know how people could dislike this movie. I mean, I don't really hear many people bitch about this movie, but it's just one of those ones. Like,
I haven't heard anybody. I've never met anybody in my life who said they don't like Blade, and I think if nobody's ever seen Blade, I feel like if you watch it, they would love it. Yeah. It's got everything. It's got action. It's got vampires. It's got,
The club scene at the beginning with the blood rave.
Dude.
I still listen to that song all the time. And like,
Would you go to a blood rave?
Oh, dog, yeah.
Like, that's not, okay, obviously it's not blood, but like, say, it's like, first of all,
if
like,
it
for
wasn't
me,
real
first
vampires.
of all, to me to go to any rave, I would have to be completely fucked up on drugs. Like, you know what I mean? But.
Yeah, butt chug and Robitussin.
Yeah. But if I was at a rave and they just red came over the sprinklers.
Dude, if that song came on, I would want the red.
There's going to be a child made by somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, in a blood rave.
I'm telling you.
I would try and make Blade, honestly.
Put the Blade blood rave on sometimes, especially when you're driving. But what's a lot of fun is there's like a little bit of words in it, right? But not many, so you can make your own words. And I do it all the time. And it's like, you know, just we are vampires and we like to fuck all the time. While we drive around, you'll be singing shit, and you're like, you know what, this is actually really good. You'll be thinking, so whatever you guys make to the song, send it in to us. We'll compile them all together. You know, you'll know what I'm talking about. You think I'm crazy now? Put on the Blade Blood Rave while you're driving and put your own words in there, because you're really going to be feeling them. I'm a vampire. Go fuck your mom. You know, if we could afford the copyright, we would do it right now.
I'm extremely jealous of his car.
I know,
the
dude.
1968 Charger, murdered out, sounding beautiful.
Mean as fuck, dude.
It's mean as fuck. And I love how he tries to tail somebody. First of all, okay, you're not going to get away with tailing anybody in a 1968 Charger. They're going to know you're around.
Oh, yeah.
They can hear you. You are going to notice that car is tailing you. Yeah. You're going to know. You're going to know. But, guys, such a beautiful car.
Coming from a film perspective, I really love the way this movie is shot. Love the colors, really cold colors going on. Definitely gives a comic book vibe in certain parts, too. It feels like it was an illustrator who made certain scenes, like the ink is dripping off the page. I get that feeling. But one of my favorite parts, especially in the Blood Rave part, is the jump cut almost scenes of the vampires. Gives them more of a fucking freaky element, and, you know, the strobe lights going on. I feel like even when Blade was driving, and that's what made me think of it, but, you know, when Blade was driving and you looked on the street corner and you saw the vampire taking that girl out, real jumpy cut shit, and if you kind of don't see it, like, you can miss it with your eye. But I like that it illustrates how quick and fast the vampires are, and that's how they live underneath that's how they're able to do it real quick. You know, it's almost like a quick thief or a pickpocket. You're like, how the fuck did I get robbed? It's like how you don't think vampires are out there until you start looking. You see how fast they move.
Yep, and that makes a big difference, too.
Like, it just looks cool.
Depending on if you did, it had to be jump cuts. If you didn't do jump cuts, if you do different type of edits, it would not do the same. You got to pick the right edits and all that stuff. Yep. That makes a really big difference. Because, like, let's say you do the rave part. If you just did just a pan of the entire rave party, it wouldn't make nothing. If you didn't do all those jump cuts and quick flashes, it builds intense. Tell me you didn't have anxiety during the subway scene.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay, real quick, but just before we hop off the blood rave, when Blade fucks everybody up, one of the coolest parts, you have to admit, is when he jumps into that circle room and he throws out his fucking boomerang thing and he cuts those guys' heads off and he's like,
Yep.
But yeah, dude, the subway was fucking nuts.
First, you could definitely tell this was a movie, okay? Because let's say when he walks into the blood rave, he's outnumbered like 200-1.
And he's just smiling.
I know. That could have, and they all could have killed him right then and there. Like, you know what I mean?
It's like Power Rangers and putties. You remember and they would chop them, and then like there'd be fireworks and shit, but there'd be like dozens of them.
Yeah.
And they would just fuck them up.
Yeah. But that subway scene, dude, I'm telling you, I got anxiety every time I watch that scene. Just.
Yep. Quinn lost his hand and shit. He got fucked up this whole movie.
I know. I love how at the end of the movie he finally gets his chance to fuck him up. Like, I got 2 good arms again. I'm about to fuck you up, Blade. And he just like one swipes him and he's dead.
That was what he always cracked me up. That first time he walked into, he said, "There he is." Get him! Fuck him up! He said, we're gonna mess you up good! I don't know why that made me laugh so hard. How about when what's her name? Dr. fucking Karen and Blade go in to try to find Frost, and they end up finding Pearl, that big fucking fat vampire there that's like holding all the fucking records. And he's like, hello, Blade. Like, that guy was hilarious.
What's in here? Oh, that's nothing. That's just storage.
It's nothing. And they had that cool UV lamp.
Yep.
Now, let's not leave out the fact that the Whisperer is Chris Christopherson, like a legendary country singer turned actor, but motherfucking bad, like back when country was fucking badass, like some John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, outlaw shit. Your dad listened to some Johnny Cash. He was the Highwaymen. Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson, Willie Nelson, okay, Waylon Jennings. They were the Highwaymen. They did their thing, and then he grew up to be the Whisperer. And I think that's badass. I really like their role. I think everybody liked Blade and Whisperer's friendship. And Whisperer always came in like, oh, I'm sorry. Was I interrupting? You know, he always comes in fucking the day up in a good way. Like, he's the definition of a clutch friend.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
Especially when he came in to save him when he was in the Bible room.
Oh, yeah, dog. He's a good pal.
You almost tear up a little bit once you find out he's about to die.
I know, but he come back.
That's a scene that grown men have cried at, I am sure.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, I've cried over less. Cried over less, man. There is some limitations in CGI with this movie.
Yeah, it's 1998.
Sure,
So
but
know?
It was a pioneer. But honestly, it's not bad enough. Like, if you go in with a comic book mindset, like I said, I love the movie Air Force One, right, with Harrison Ford, great movie. At the end, it has some really bad CGI where the plane crashes, and it's hard to process because it's a really serious movie. Now, granted, it's such a good movie that you just don't let it ruin it because it's like 10 seconds of it, but with this movie, it's a comic book movie, like a comic horror movie. So I feel like you can kind of still go back. Like when I'm watching Elm Street and I see Nancy's mom going into the bed where it's glowing, it's a horror movie. Like that's what it's supposed to be like, man. That's
if it was more realistic, it wouldn't be as good, I don't think.
No.
I think it fits the feeling of the movie. I don't have a problem with it at all.
I think Deacon Frost is a good bad guy, too. I think he's really cool, like a cool bad vampire, because he's also half vampire. So I think he kind of is a little jelly belly of Blade. So that's why he's got like this little love-hate bromance with him, and he wants him to join him. Blade's like, no. Think I'm dumb? No. I know. You think Batman's got the deep voice.
Oh, man, I know.
I want to hear a convo with Batman and Blade.
That would be a horrible movie. Batman vs. Blade.
You motherfucker think you can come up here? You think this is a game? Where is she? Where's who, motherfucker? Yeah, they got the deep voices going on. But I enjoy it. I enjoy the battle between both of them, and I'm not huge into Blade Trinity, and I love Triple H the wrestler, and I like Ryan Reynolds, but just got a little, and Jessica Biel for that matter. But Blade 2, I was really going to push for that, because this is technically our Christmas episode almost, Ozark, isn't it?
Yeah, this comes out the day after Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, what would that have made our Christmas episode, Red Eye?
No. Well, yeah. Because that would be before Christmas.
Yeah, okay.
So this came out Monday after Christmas. Christmas already happened, technically.
Yeah. Or did it?
I don't know. This shit's confusing. I can't keep track of
it. No, it makes sense. But yes, that's cool, though. This is your post-Christ Mass episode, and I dig that. But Blade 2 almost got pushed there because there were some cool, cold elements.
I would watch this on Christmas.
Yeah. I want to do Blade 2 as well. because
Well,
those
sure we will.
vampires are creepy. They're really fucking weird. You remember their like mouths opened up and they were like underground in the sewers, and then there was like cold parts and cool stuff. But this is what kicked it all off. This is what started off the trend. Blade 1.
Tell me why it's like borderline sex scene when Blade is drinking Doctor's blood, like get his strength back. It's like it's like some rough sex shit almost.
Was I not supposed to beat it? Oh. Well, I don't know, dude. I'm learning. You keep telling me.
That's how every woman wants to be handled. Just, that's
then
every woman's
throw her
fantasy.
down and go.
It's every woman. That's what every woman thinks of when you bite her neck. I'm telling you, they think of that. Why can't I find a guy that bites me like that? Because I'm not drinking your blood, you fucking weirdo.
Because that's a felony.
And it is.
You know what is true though?
What?
So first off, did you happen to see what production company made this movie?
No.
Right at the beginning? Okay, the little box with the 2 film reels. New Line Cinema.
Oh,
okay.
The house that Freddie built, right?
That is correct.
I'm educated because of this podcast.
Very correct. Now, they put this out, but as we know as people in 2022, almost at 2023, there's been a lot of comic book movies within the last 15, 20 years that have been quite successful.
Yeah.
But the Marvel franchise was swirling down the tank, and it was not doing well at the moment. And Blade put Marvel back on the map. So I really, and this isn't just me saying this. This is common fact. This is common law. Look it up. Look it up. Look it up. You know, it's out there. Blade put Marvel back on the map to kind of hash the franchise, and then we got Iron Man and Captain America. And I think that kind of got a little watered down, but I really loved those original, or those kind of first solo movies, like Captain America, Iron Man. Those were all really good, dude.
Yeah, it started getting a little. They were definitely milking that cow like a motherfucker.
They were, dude. They were. I'm glad they finally ended it for the most part. And there's a new Blade movie coming out in the Phase 4.
Yep.
Or Phase 4, Phase 5. I liked because Sam Raimi just made Doctor Strange 2, and that's Evil Dead. And then they're making the new Blade. Obviously, it's going to be younger Blade, so it's a different guy. His name's Mahershala Ali. He's like an award-winning actor. He's very good. Wesley Snipes gave him the nod because he's too old to play a young Blade. Like, this is going to have his come-up story and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's good. At least they're not trying to extend it. At least they're going with the origin story. I can see that being successful.
I'm just saying, like, think of the money that Marvel has now. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm just saying, think of the money Marvel has now. After all this shit, what's their new vampires going to look like? That's probably going to look pretty sick, dude.
I hope so.
I mean, this one looked really cool, and this is when Marvel was struggling. And it's like, dude, where are y'all at now? Like, I can't wait to see it because Blade's one of my favorite superheroes. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. He's a superhero. He's one of my favorites. I liked Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I've said that a million times. I like vampire killers. There's something about the Slayer of vampires that's cool as shit to me. You're like, there's something cool to me that like most of the general public doesn't even know the deed that you do for them. Like there's just something like really noble about that. And you're going through all this shit. It's like, that's kind of badass.
Super badass.
I like his fucking sword.
Yeah.
His pig sticker.
Very. There was a thing on TikTok, which was funny, is there's a lot of girls, and they were posting, like, what do you get a guy who's, like, low maintenance? Like, he buys everything he's got. It's like, what do I get him? And all the comments are like, he wants a sword. Just get him a sword.
A blade sword, dude.
Yeah.
If you got me a blade sword.
Yeah, because I don't want nothing, honestly. You know what the keys are to getting a low maintenance man something for Christmas? Honestly. Okay, there's only two things. Okay, well there's three things. Okay, there's three things. Okay, one, a sword. Any man with like a sword. I don't know why. Fucking sword's cool.
No, any kind.
Number 2.
Any kind.
Any kind. It doesn't matter. Number 2. Okay. Chances are, if you have a low maintenance man, chances are he likes sports of some kind. Get him anything with his favorite sports team on it, and he will fucking wear it. I don't care if it's a hat, a shirt, pants, shoes, fucking a flag. Doesn't matter. Get him that. Or number 3, obviously, a fucking a sexual thing. Nothing makes a man feel more loved than somebody coming and be like, "What are you doing?" Just in the middle of nowhere, like, "I'm gonna suck your dick now."
Yep.
What?
You give him sloppy toppy till his ass cheeks are wet.
Yeah, do it on the way home from the drive-thru or something.
Every day of the fucking week, you lazy bums.
Do it after the grocery store.
What are you doing?
Wrap
You've got
yourself-
that mouth for a reason.
Wrap yourself up, put a bow on your head and be like, "Unwrap me." Be like, "Okay. Okay. Okay." Simple. You know what they can't figure out? They can't comprehend it because it's so damn simple. It's above them. They can't figure it out. It's not complex enough. It's so simple. It's so fucking simple.
Socks, BJs, sports stuff. That's it. Maybe a bag of weed.
Just
That'd be
order
nice.
a pizza.
Oh my god. You'd feel. I'm gonna be real honest with you though. If you were just chilling, you and your lady, and she just walked in. She didn't even tell you you're ordering pizza. You just heard the door knock, and she's like, "Got your pizza," and then it's like, "For y'all eat." She just like sloppy topped you till your butt cheeks were wet, and then she was just like really nice to you. You're gonna be like, "Yo, what do you want?"
What the fuck's going on here?
What's like? Look, I like this if I tell you, okay? I like this if there's some control. But if you're coming at me all polite, I'm feeling like there's an angle, and the fucked up part is if we go far enough down this road, I'm going to give you one, because that's how the sirens work. I know how the mermaids of the sea work. That's how they got the pirates. They heard them singing, and then they sunk their fucking ship, dude. That's how it works.
It's exactly how it works.
So you got to watch out.
Let me tell you how this works. I'm going to tell you things we know about.
Hypnosis.
We're going to tell you things we know about this movie now.
Right now?
Yes. Hello there. Welcome to the What Do You Know here. This is a segment here where we're here to tell you something that you may or may not know about this movie here. Now, if this is your first time here, this is how it's going to go. We're going to tell you things we know about this movie. Now, you may know what we know about this movie. You may not know what we know about this movie. But if you know what we know, you're going to have a we-know-gasm. If you don't know what we know, you're about to have a better we-know-gasm, and everybody's going to know together. So, now that you know that, now that you are familiar with the rules here, this is how it's going to be. You're going to tell me something that I may or may not know about this movie, Blade, 1998.
Oh, I'm going to start this off here.
Yeah, I told you to do it. It's your turn.
Well, look here.
Look here.
We've mentioned many times that Blade is a motherfucking comic book character, okay? But where did he first appear? What was the first comic book that we saw Blade? Do you want to take any guesses on the date?
Bazooka Bubblegum.
Like, give me a date. What decade?
Oh, what decade? 1980.
Blade first appeared in the comic The Tomb of Dracula, issue number 10, July of 1973.
How much is that comic book worth?
Who knows? Who knows?
It's probably worth a lot.
Yeah. Well, tell me what you know over there.
That was your fact?
Yeah, that was my fact.
That's pretty fucking interesting.
I got more.
Okay.
But I want to hear yours.
Okay. So, in the movie, there's a scene where they're in the subway. You know, gives you a lot of anxiety.
I know about that.
Now, the passengers in that subway, they were all cardboard cutouts.
Cardboard cutouts?
Yeah, and they had a special effects guy in there, and he was, doing his thing. But they're all cardboard cutouts, not real people. Not extras, not real people. It's cardboard cutouts. They're probably made from, a bunch of UPS boxes or something. What do you know?
That's pretty interesting. I like that.
Yeah, you thought they were real people. They weren't. They were just cardboard.
Now, look. I've got something that's gonna blow your socks off.
Good, because I'm wearing shoes, so that'd be pretty difficult.
Look, you know in all the Marvel movies, who gives a cameo? Stan Lee. Every one of the movies, the creator of Marvel, it's Stan Lee.
Yes.
I mean, he passed away, rest in peace, but he did a cameo for every one of his movies, right?
Yes.
Well, he did a cameo for Blade, but it was cut out. It was the scene where Quinn got lit on fire, He gets pinned to the wall, Blade pins him to the wall, he catches on fire, and then, the cops come in and the firefighters come in and put him out. Well, Stan Lee was originally one of those cops, but it got cut out.
Why'd they cut it out?
I don't know why they didn't cut it out.
Maybe
or why they cut it out.
Some
bullshit. He deserved the cameo. So I don't know if it's out there. I haven't looked for it, but maybe we can find it.
Well, it's a shame.
It's a fucking shame.
He should have been in the movie.
He should have been in.
There's a lot of interesting things.
Yeah. Did you know?
No, I did not.
Jet Li was offered the part of Deacon Frost, but he opted out to do Lethal Weapon 4.
Huh. I probably would have done Blade.
I would have done it too.
Yeah. I feel like it'd be a lot more fun. But the guy Frost, he did a good job. He's a good villain.
What are you gonna do?
I'm not complaining here.
Yeah.
Yo.
So you got anything else?
No.
I
usually just have one because that's all I can remember.
We've turned all the stones.
I have a problem with my memory glands.
It's all good. I think people know more about Blade than they ever did.
They do now.
That's it. Look, dog. If this was a situation or a city you lived in, Ozark Mark, are you joining Blade and the Whistler, or are you becoming a vampire?
Blade and the Whistler.
I think so too, dude. You get one of those cars.
I would, yeah.
You could probably get one of those cars.
I would try and get one of those cars.
And
sure.
They got some cool weapons.
They do got a lot of cool weapons. Obviously, they come out on top. But, I don't know. Might be cool to be a vampire. You probably have some weird sex, a lot of partying.
And you regenerate.
You do regenerate. It would be cool. I feel like,
You can get burnt to a crisp.
And you become back.
Yeah, that's some shit.
You could lose a limb and just grow it back. So there's benefits to both. But the problem is, if you're a vampire, you got to watch out for Blade. So is it funner to be a vampire and live a rock star lifestyle, just being a normal ass fucking vampire, not having to do all the extra success, or roll with Blade and kill a bunch of them? What's more satisfying?
I would tell Blade, because if I was a vampire, I'd be like, look here, dog. I'm only eating bad people, like chomos, child molesters and shit, and people that are bad people, like beating their wife and kids, people that deserve to go. All right, you can say what you want. I'm a vigilante vampire living a crazy, fun life, banging other vampires, drinking blood, going to raves, and killing chomos and fucked up people. And it'd be like, all right. But if you're killing good people, that ain't good.
I'd try to become a Daywalker.
Right. Now that's something.
That's the ultimate. That's the ultimate, because you get all the benefits of a vampire, but you can still, go outside, during the sunlight, have a normal life.
Deacon Frost has it going on too, man. I mean, he's just sitting there, he's just brooding all day, listening to music, listening to techno, listening to ancient vampire stuff, just living like a king.
Would you have that sealed bed that he has?
I might.
I don't know.
I'd smoke a lot of weed in it.
I would get too warm too fast.
I'd smoke some weed in there. Or fart in there.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing, dude. You fart in there, it's not going away.
You just get hammered and eat a bunch of shit for the Bengals game, and you just pass out in there. And you just say, ugh! You have to come out of there. Everyone in the house smells it when you flip your bed around. Oh my God. The fuck is in here? Sorry.
I love how his pool had rubber ducks in it.
That was fun.
Why?
It's just fun. He's just a fun guy. He's just a fun guy, like a mushroom. All right. So we got this going on. He's got the cool weapons. He's got this going on. Now, it has its own aesthetic, Blade does, but I really think the choreographed scenes, there's a lot of choreographed fight scenes in this. There's quite a few.
Yeah.
The club's just one of them. There's so many fight scenes from the subway to the club to the finale to the second club scene. There's a lot of fucking throwing down. So people had to work pretty hard at this. And I like that all of the kills, I mean, there's some kills that are just plain, but for the most part, there's some cool ones, man. He's like punching people's heads to the ceiling. They try to make them as unique as possible. He does some by hand, by gun, by, I don't know. It's just fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of kills. I'm glad they switched it up, and it keeps it interesting. A lot of different kills. There's the serum kills where they start exploding.
Those are funny.
Chopping them in half, all kinds of stuff. There's wide variety, which is good because it keeps it interesting, because that's like half of the movie is this action pack killing vampires. It's half the movie.
Yeah, I guess we should mention, too, that it's a little fucked up that Blade's mom...
She's like seductive to him and shit. It's weird.
It is weird, dude, because she's a vampire.
Yeah, it's kind of like that's probably what started the whole out of the family pornos.
At first, I was initially, because Dr. Karen and Blade's mother, the actresses look very similar, and it was kind of confusing at first, but then I think they did that on purpose, and I think that's kind of why he saved her. Yeah. And it's like, Jason Voorhees syndrome.
Well, yeah, they do flashbacks of her on the ground and him looking at his mother to amplify that. It's 100% why he saved her. 100%. Mm-hmm. Well, it turned out beneficial because she was a doctor.
She was one of them doctors.
She was one of them scientists with the telescopes coming up with cures and more stuff.
Let them be doctors and liars and such.
Yeah, but his mother sitting here, being seductive to him and shit, killing him, and he has to take out his own mother.
I would have banged her though. I would have banged her, because she's different at that point, and you can finally, bang your mom.
No. 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 No.
Mom, get off of me.
No.
Now.
No. No.
Quit being weird.
That's now, if we didn't get canceled last episode, that's going to be it right there.
Oh.
So way to go for you.
Don't bang your moms.
Yeah, please don't.
Even as a vampire, it's not recommended.
All right, enough of this. Let's go through the portal and rate this movie.
Sloppy horror rating, baby, yeah!
Hello there. Welcome to the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. That's right. Your favorite scary movie companion, the horror nerd himself, Mr. Christian Ramey, is going to sit here and rate this movie on a horror movie scale that he developed to give you the ideal score for the ideal horror movie that you're ideally trying to watch. Now, we're going to do this in a series of 4 categories. 3 of the categories worth 3 points. Last category is worth 1 point for a total of
10 points altogether.
You're correct, sir. So
that sends me.
So let's get into the first category here. First category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is casting.
Wow. Casting feels pretty decent. Let's run down the line here. I feel like this is a 2. Is it a 2 to you? Or a 1.5?
Oh shit. I wasn't prepared for you to throw me the ball already. Casting.
I'm thinking a 2, but 1.5 would be, I'd feel like it'd be between those two because it is Wesley Snipes. There are faces that you are familiar with. I feel like people do a good. Stephen Dorff and Wesley Snipes crush it. Chris Christopherson's a good whisper. 1.5?
It's a 1.5 because I'm trying to compare what we've given 2s to and 1.5s to in the past.
Okay.
And it's a 1.5. I mean, you got Wesley Snipes killing it, like you said. In the opening credits, they only mentioned 2 actors.
That's true. All right, 1.5 is solid.
1.5. So that's 1.5 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the second category here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is kills.
Dude, I'm thinking 3.
It is a 3.
It has to. There's just so many.
There's 100 of them. There's at least 100 of them. I don't care what that kill count was. There's at least 100 of them. Close to it.
A
So
lot
there's
of
100
different
them.
kinds. A lot of different thought behind all of them. You know, I'm not saying it's anything. They're all things that you haven't seen, but there will be some that are unique to Blade. The flashlight kill. I just really love that one in the club where he like literally just uppercuts motherfucker right into the ceiling and he just turns to dust. There's quite a few different ways of people getting killed. So it has to be a 3. I mean, a lot of creativity.
Half the movie is death.
For real.
I mean, that's what you get in a 3.
Yeah.
So that is 4.5 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the final 3-point category here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is fear.
Like, we can't give it a 0, can we? But should
No,
we give
it's
it like
a 0.5.
But that being said, my 4-year-old was like coming in and out of the room, and like they do really great in the makeup. Like when that nurse dude comes back to life. I mean, there's some frightening moments. If you're like, I would say 8 and under, there might be some like, hey, what are you watching? Like,
Yeah, but that can be anything, though. I mean, 8 and under, you can be scared of a movie that's not even horror related at all.
so I'm saying like half a point though. Like,
Yeah, that's half a point. Yeah,
that's
half a
that's
point.
who that's for.
Yeah. But most of the time, it's action-packed, a fun time movie, fun action-packed. It's just got the horror elements in it because it's vampires and more sci-fi.
creepy. Yeah.
But it is creepy, too. There's some creepy moments and all that stuff, too.
More creepy than fearful. You know, it's like
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah, but definitely you can see somebody dressed up for this on Halloween for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So that is 5 out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get to the final 1-point category for half a point each here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is rewatchability.
You betcha.
Yeah.
All right.
So that is a total of 6 out of 10 for Blade, the official Sloppy Horror Podcast rating stamp of approval for your ass.
That feels right.
It does. It goes in nice and smooth.
That feels right.
No lube.
Because it's not a horror movie all the way, but 6 is still a pretty solid score to land. The kills really helped it.
The kills really did help it.
I like that we've refined our system, excuse me, to rewatchability and a half a point each. I like that. That was a nice touch that you added.
Thank
but
you.
now, you know, I
That's-
like the
that's-
half a point each because it's
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here and you're there.
because there's a couple that you didn't, you know, you haven't rewatchability and you haven't given that point, but that's totally okay. And I like that aspect of, you know, because I think not like you and I have similar taste in some things, but it's cool at the end of the day because we are different. We have different tastes, so it is kind of cool because a lot of these movies, like I'll just throw your way, and I have no idea how you're gonna react. And sometimes you come in like, yes, and then sometimes you're like, what? Like, you know, it's fine. It's an experience. You gotta see it once. But
some of the movies you got on here, I'm falling asleep during half of them, or I'm like, you know, like I don't need to watch that again.
Yep.
But it's okay. I mean, it's good. You know, we're not here to hype the movie up like everybody, all these other podcasts do. We're sitting here and we're gonna tell you the truth. All right, we're gonna talk about them. We're gonna tell you we laugh at parts that we're definitely not supposed to laugh at. We make you look at these movies in a different vision, and hopefully that different vision makes you enjoy them. I think that's the main goal here of this podcast. And I think it's worked for a lot of people. We got a lot of people. I see a lot of comments saying like, I should not have laughed at this movie until after I watched your episode. And now I laugh at it every time. Good. I hope you enjoy it more.
And seriously, that is the goal at the end of the day. With not only with our show, I mean, yeah, maybe you disagree with us, and that's totally fine. But our hopes are maybe these movies you haven't watched in a little bit of time, and maybe you could throw it on that week along with our episode, and there you go. You know, maybe that's 3 or 4 hours of entertainment for your week that are kind of, it's passive entertainment, a little time to pass your week, and...
Well, also, I mean, we give you, the topic of the episode is a movie. So how many times have you sat there and go to watch a movie with somebody and be like, I don't know what to pick? Mm-hmm. So you sit there for like an hour trying to figure out what to pick. You already got something in the bag. There's over 75 episodes of movies. That's 75. This is episode 76 right now, currently.
Yeah.
We've talked about 75 movies so far. This is 76.
That's insane.
That's a lot of fucking movies.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's wild,
There's
child.
a lot of options here, okay? So,
Yeah, and seriously, boys and girls, we couldn't do this without you each and every week. And you're not going to hear no bullshit ads. So I'm really serious. I dare you to go check out that Patreon. Help Ozark out. Help me out. Check this shit out, because we're working hard putting in these episodes. And you get a little behind the scenes action. You get to see what's going on, get some more bonus episodes for your week, along with the free content that we give you. I mean, we're just out here hustling. And 2023 is going to be bigger. With bigger dicks. Bigger areolas. Bigger buttholes. We're going to fuck them all.
some of those things you don't want so big.
No? Pepperoni nips and sausage clits. I want it all.
You did not just say that.
A Jimmy Dean sausage clit.
God damn it. Now I'm going to be saying that. That's going to be a saying for the rest of my life.
Pepperoni nips and sausage clits.
Pepperoni nips and sausage clits.
She's one of
God
them.
damn it.
She's one of them.
Fuck.
She's one of them healthy farm girls.
I hate Oh, I hate you. Dude, I hate you sometimes. Like, I swear to God. I'm just gonna say that randomly in the wrong situation, and nobody's gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about.
You can be talking to shit to some. Listen here, pepperoni nips and sausage clit. How about you get the fuck out of here? How do you like that, bitch?
You farmer's market looking bitch.
Old MacDonald had a farm.
Oh, don't ever put me drunk in public, because that will happen.
So what's gonna happen?
That will happen. That's a great insult to somebody. I guarantee if you said that to somebody, they would go away.
Square up, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, folks, that's Blade. That's Blade for you.
That is Blade.
So, I hope you boys and girls have had just as much fun as we have had. And some of the biggest help you can do, if you're not in a position where you can come check out the Patreon, what you can do is tell a pal about the show, okay? Everybody's looking for new podcasts, but here's the thing. We can advertise as much as we want, but there's just something that isn't as genuine when there's two blowhards promoting their own podcast, because you see a million people do that. But word of mouth of other people is really how this thing grows. And I know a lot of you guys are soldiers out there, and you guys do that already. So help us out, all right? You have people, you notice their podcast listeners, send it along the way, okay? There's funny clips you find on YouTube, clip them up, okay? Show the world, all right? Show the world your love for Sloppy, and we'll give you sloppy toppy love as well. That's what we're here for. So there's a polar vortex outside. We got to get out of here. We hope everybody stays safe and is warm.
Is it snowing already?
It's snowing.
Fuck. And it rained beforehand. So
I
that
really
ice,
must go.
so that ice is gonna be under the snow, and now
Luckily, we got dicks.
it's gonna be a pain in the ass to shovel. Yeah. This is great, exciting.
But we got.
That's what I hate.
wings.
I hate that about winter. Like, I love the snow; it's cool, but I hate ice underneath the snow. I can't do it. It's not fun.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Nobody
Well,
likes it.
ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy Blade. If you haven't seen it, if you have seen it, watch it again. And we'll see you next week. And we love you.
Love you. Be good.